Hey everybody, this is Joseph Morabito with Wildomar Conversations, and today we're at Wallen West Farms to interview Ayva Palos. She's a 14-year-old Wildomar girl who is a champion horse rider. So let's throw it to Bridgette and the interview.
Good afternoon and welcome to the third installment of Wildomar Conversations. Today I am joined with Ayva Palos and Rob Wallen and Stephanie Palos. So we have found out that 14-year-old Ayva has lived in Wildomar her whole life, and she rides horses and she shows horses. So we're going to get to know a little bit more about her today. So Ayva, tell me, how did your love of horses start? How old were you?
I was 2 years old and I was pretty much born into the farm.
Wow.
We had a bunch of horses at our house when I was born.
Wow, so only 2 years old. So Mom, she was barely walking, right?
Yes. I started putting her on a horse as soon as she was, able to sit up straight. She was on a horse before she can remember.
So from 2 years old, you're almost barely walking.
Yes.
And you're already on a horse. And then
Yes.
she starts competing. She starts getting lessons from Rob.
Well, actually, when she was 2 years old, I put her into a few lead line classes, which means I walk her on the horse with a lead so it's safe around the arena, and she got used to those blue ribbons, and I think that's what kind of sparked her interest in wanting to show. After she turned about 8 years old is when she exhausted my knowledge of training, and so I called Rob and Betsy, and that's when that started.
Coming in for some formal lessons and getting set up for competing. So we started at the academy level and moved up to the Class A divisions,
Wow.
and then on to the World Championships from there.
We brought Ayva into the barn in 2015, I believe, and that was her first experience with a formal, trainer. Before that, I kind of gave her the instruction on balancing and different things of just the basics on a horse. So when she started with Rob, she then took off from there.
So I'm a city slicker, so tell me exactly, what does Ayva do on those horses?
She competes in the show ring. They're show ring horses. She competes in hunt seat, saddle seat, driving. Competes at all the Class A shows here on the West Coast and abroad. We've gone to as far as Oklahoma City for the Morgan Grand Nationals and on to the American Royal in Kansas City, and competes at the national level as well.
And with our traveling to each show, we take the motorhome. So we're working on the road, and we're also spending our family vacations on the road at all of the horse shows.
So it sounds like you travel a lot.
Yep.
Oklahoma, Kansas, I think Las Vegas. So you like traveling, it
Yep.
sounds like. So what are some of your favorite places you've seen?
Probably Oklahoma and Kansas City. But Oklahoma for sure because it's World Championships and it's really fun out there.
So it's the event that's happening there.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do you think now you're competing? Now you've won, I've heard lots of medals, lots of Grand Reserve,
World Championships.
World Championships.
Yep.
So what's the plans now? What's the plans for the future?
To hopefully, turn into the World Cup, try out for the World Cup, and then eventually be a vet. I'd love to become a vet.
So you were already doing this remote learning way before the
Yes.
pandemic happened.
That's right.
So you're
She's
a pro
definitely
at that now.
seasoned
Okay.
with the homeschooling. So this year we're trying the homeschooling, and the district is doing well with that. And Ayva is a straight A student, so I have
Oh my gosh.
no issues with her schooling on that.
An amazing young lady,
Yes.
a straight A student,
Yes.
and winning
I
World
know.
Championship.
That's
Yep.
right. And part of it is her getting good grades to be able to do this, because it is very expensive, and it's also very time consuming and things like that. So
Right. So that leads me into the next question. So you've had to travel all this and the parents.
Yes.
So tell me, Stephanie, what have you had to sacrifice in order for Ayva to compete?
yeah, a lot of time, dedication to bringing her to all of her lessons. And, you know, we used to take a family vacation every year. You know, now it's the horse shows. So that's okay. We're extremely excited for her future, and we really enjoy going to all of the shows, and it's our number one priority right now.
So for younger riders that are coming up underneath you, what advice do you have for them?
To keep motivation, keep going. Yeah, train hard. And,
So you really have to have a lot of self-motivation.
Yeah,
You have to
for
come
sure.
out here and rain and sleet. I don't know if we have much sleet out here, but
Yes.
rain and,
Yeah.
and cold and
right.
train 3 to 4 days a week.
That's
Right.
right.
Ava's a great mentor to the younger riders coming up. I always use her as an example when she's in the saddle and I'm working with the younger riders to
great.
watch Ava. And getting that visual really helps the younger riders.
And if it's a 100-degree day, we might ride in the barn, which is insulated, so we have a nice cool aisleway to train. If it's raining, we ride in the aisleway. If it's a nice day, we'll be out in the arena enjoying the nice day, which most of the time in California or Southern California we have. So
There's
But
a nice
we're here no
breeze out
matter
here
what.
actually right now.
Yes.
It's really nice. So earlier you had mentioned World Cup, and I've heard that in soccer, but I haven't heard any related to horse riding. So Betsy, can you tell us more about that?
Well, the World Cup, it's a competition between countries. In the United States, you try out at the facility in Missouri. They normally do it at William Woods University. And they pick the top riders from various breeds, the Arabians, the Morgans, saddlebreds. And if you are selected for the team, you are on the U.S. team. They alternate years. Some years they compete here in the United States. Other years it's in South Africa. So it's a very prestigious thing to be a part of, and it really tests the riders' knowledge, their horsemanship, being able to get on a horse that they've never ridden before, ride it for 10 minutes, and then go in the ring and compete on it. And they also do riding patterns as well.
So how old is there a certain age Ava has to be to compete in that?
I believe 21 and under is, they also have a junior division,
Okay.
but the main World Cup team is I think 14 through 21. But it's a really prestigious thing to be a part of and a wonderful experience. I was able to be a part of it many years ago, and it was just the highlight of my life to be able to travel to South Africa to, you know, experience the culture and everything down there as well. So it's something really exciting, something to work for.
So do you have an age in mind, the kind of goal that Ava will be when she goes for World Cup?
We'll get through Oklahoma this year and then we'll
Yeah.
put that on the table afterwards.
that's right. That's right.
You must be so proud, though, to have a 14-year-old straight-A student
Absolutely.
winning champions and
Yeah.
also
We're
a
all
mentor.
so proud of her.
Yes.
Very
yes.
proud.
Anything else you'd like to add? Let the people know about Ava.
If anybody wants to follow Ava and her accomplishments on Instagram, I'm Horse Show Mom 1. And I tend to post all of her videos and accomplishments on Instagram there.
Perfect.
And Wallen West Farms.
Wallen West Farms is our trainer, and we're very proud to be a part of such a Class A, classy barn. And I hope that if anyone is interested in pursuing something that Ava does, that they consider calling Wallen West Farms in Temecula.
Well, thank you all for joining
Yeah,
us today
thank
on the
you.
third installment of Wildomar Conversations. So you had mentioned cup, and I haven't heard of that before in regards to horse racing. So horse racing.